Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Isha Herawati and my partner Sharifah Valadina PhD. This is our research about millennial positive and negative lifespan developmental in era digital. We are from Universitas Islam Riau, Department of Psychology. Objective research identify the crisis of millennial developmental in era digital, identify positive and negative aspects of lifespan developmental of the millennial in era digital, identify demographic factor influence the life crisis of millennial. A research problem, millennial generation is known as the generation that is influenced by technology and easy life. Millennials occupy 25.47% of the world's population. The prediction that millennials will take power in all sectors is inevitable. Change in life orientation by millennials compared to previous generation. And then there are many positive and negative qualities of millennials. The positive of millennial research show that millennials rank higher in self-esteem and assertiveness when compared to the previous generation at the same age. From Deal, Edelman, and Rujelbeck. And then Myers and Sadagiani found that millennials are also known as the look at me generation because they are thought to be too confident and concerned with their own interests. And then, millennials are confident as much of the research support. This confidence comes from their trust and optimism. In the other hand, negative lifespan developmental of millennials. Millennials found have a much problem with anxiety. Millennials have been identified as the most anxious generation in history by new research, including the annual mental health national poll released by the American Psychiatric Association. And then, millennials have problems with self-doubt. More than half of millennials are expressing this period of self-doubt and insecurity that is causing them to question their career path, relationship, and life choice. And then, millennials have a problem with self-importance, or we call selfish maybe. Meyer and Sadigiani found younger generation of millennial generation were perceived to be impatient, lacking in work ethic, self-important, and disloyal. Research method, participants in this research were millennials in any sector, culture, country, and gender. This study used two mixed methods, quantitative and qualitative research. The millennial is someone who born in 1980 until 20,000. A booklet containing standard instruction, quarter life crisis scale, self-compassion scale, and life satisfaction scale test and demographic profile. The research found millennial at work, developmental and work-life balance are more important than financial reward for millennial. And then moving up to ladder faster. So millennial thinking about moving up to the ladder faster. Career progression is the top priority for millennial who expect to rise rapidly throughout the organization. And then millennials are tech-savvy, ambitious, and fond of working in teams, have a desire to make the world a better place, and like to do things their own way. Unfortunately, some managers see them as lazy, entitled, self-focused, and impatient, hence difficult to manage. Millennial in pandemic COVID-19. Pandemic makes millennial more creative and technologically able to survive in the pandemic era. At home or PQPP does not making stress for millennial because many millennial like to relax and have a room with the internet and the phone. So for millennial, PKPP is not much problem from this research. Anxiety about the difficulty of finding work for millennials who have just finished studies. And then millennial in pandemic COVID-19 worry about being a person without symptom who can spread the COVID-19 virus. Millennials choose not to be with their parents during the pandemic. Thank you. This research is not finished yet because it just qualitative research, and this research will be continue with the research method. So in 1 month, I think this research gonna be finished. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to say thank you for watching our presentation video. It's great to see you all. Okay, let me introduce myself and my partner. I am Robi Fernand Arifin and my partner is Muhammad Rizky Pauji. We are from Faculty of Psychology Islamic University of Riau, Indonesia. Okay, in this presentation, we will discuss about occupational health and safety for online transportation in COVID-19 pandemic. First, I will explain abstract. This study was conducted to see the implementation of the Gojek Online Occupation Health and Safety or OHH online bike during the coronavirus disease or COVID-19 pandemic in Pekanbaru City, and to provide online bike driver with psychoeducation intervention. Main data collection by observation to see the introduction of occupational health and safety or OHS of the Gojek online bike and questionnaires to take a look at the result of the intervention. Results from the observation made by 15 drivers indicate that the application of occupational health and safety or OHS was 59%. The results of the 50% questionnaire on the benefit of the intervention given are 81%. Therefore, psychoeducation intervention in the form of the poster and digital videos are successful and provide advantage in the implementation of online back occupational health and safety or OHS Gojek during the pandemic in Pekanbaru City. Then, I will explain about the introduction. Lately, the worldwide is being shocked by the existence of non-natural disaster, namely the COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 pandemic is an infectious disease caused by a newly discovered type of coronavirus. The impact of this virus is very large. All sectors are affected, including in the online transportation sector. This online transportation is commonly referred to as an only motorcycle taxi. Online motorcycle taxi companies in Indonesia are diverse, one of which is Gojek. This Gojek does not only provide service in the form of shuttle passenger, but many services are offered such as food shuttle service like or GoFood, goods shuttle service or GoSend, cleaning service or GoClean, and others. However, apart from the advantage that Gojek offered at the time of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Occupational Safety and Health or OHS of Gojek driver is at stake in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is due to they are at risk of being exposed to COVID-19. Next, what is occupational safety and health? Occupational safety and health or OHS or in Indonesia known as Kesehatan dan Keselamatan Kerja atau K3. OHS is all attempts and thoughts that can be carried out in order to reduce, prevent and cope with the occurrence of an accident and its impacts through step in the form of analysis, identification and return of hazard by implementation a hazard control system appropriately and implement legislation on occupational safety and health or OHS from Kemenaker in Kurniawan 2016. Next, the benefit of implementing occupational safety and health or OHS according to Swardi in Fridayanti and Kusumasmoro 2016 are: first, the protecting of employee. What is the protecting of employee? The main objective in implementing safety and health or OHS is to provide protection to worker. Due to the workers are asset of the company that must be maintained and guarded. Second, showing the compliance with regulation and laws. Showing the compliance with regulation and law is by implementing a health and safety management system or OHS. At least the company has shown good ethics in complying with laws and regulation. Third, reducing cost. What is the reducing cost? Reducing cost is the implementation of occupational safety and health or OHS can prevent things that are not desirable such as accidents, damage, or illness due to work. Next, creating an effective occupational safety and health or OHS management system. And last, increasing the trust and satisfaction of customer. What is this? Employees whose occupational health and safety or OHS system is guaranteed, they will work more optimally and have an impact on the products and service product. Okay, the next slide will be explained by my partner Muhammad Rizky Fauzi.
My name is Muhammad Rizky Fauzi and I will continue the next presentation. Research and methods. The design of this study was a quasi-experiment with one group pre-test and post-test design, which was aimed to find out application of occupational health and safety on online motorcycle taxis or Gojek during the COVID-19 pandemic in Pekanbaru City. Quasi-experiment itself is an experiment that carried without randomization, but can still use a control group compared the pre-experimental design and quasi-experimental are usually better because they have carried out a comparative group to able to understand an effect of the treatment. Next, the population this study were online motorcycle taxis or Gojek in the city of Pekanbaru. Meanwhile, the sample this study 30 respondents with random sampling technique. The determination of numbers of samples this study refers in implementation of carried out with by online motorcycle taxis or Gojek during the COVID-19 pandemic in Pekanbaru City. Okay, next, finding and distribution observation result. The result of observation method with 15 subjects were 30 subjects who wore masks to other subjects did not use masks. 11 online motorcycle drivers who wore gloves and 4 more did not use gloves. 15 online motorcycle taxi drivers wore jackets while working, as well as 15 drivers. Besides, there were not drivers who used bulkhead between driver and customer. Meanwhile, there were 10 customers who broke their own helmet and 5 customers did not bring their own helmet. 5 customers used a non-cash payment and 10 customers did not use a non-cash payment system. And there were 3 subjects that used a hand sanitizer and 12 others did not use a hand sanitizer. 14 use mask and 1 customer did not use mask. And summary, the result observation can be seen in the graph below. Okay, next, the intervention ratio. The intervention was carried out 4 days starting on Saturday, August 22, 2020 by distributing poster and digital videos in Instagram and YouTube platform. Then, it was processed in distributing poster and digital videos to driver on Wednesday, 16 August 2020 to Friday and
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I'm going to talk about the psychological well-being of the Malaysian young adults during COVID-19. Let us look into the background of the study in which in 2019 every country are being affected by COVID-19. This coronavirus disease 2019 affected not only infants but also the old adults. We hear news that old adults die because of the infection of the coronavirus. However, there are also a group of the individual who are being affected by the coronavirus pandemic, in which it is in another form of effect, which is the psychological effect. Okay, the group is known as the young adults group. This young adults group, they are actually have difficulties to deal with the restriction of the movement order that is being imposed due to the coronavirus. The reason is because these young adults, they are expected to attain an accomplishment on certain life purpose during this period. So due to the challenges that they face in order to accomplish what they have planned, what they have thought, so there are a possibility and high risk for these young adults to suffer from the psychological distress. Studies have found that those young adults who have tried very hard to accomplish their goal, but there are situations that hinder them to achieve what they have planned, usually they will show symptoms of the psychological disorder such as depression, anxiety, stress, and psychological distress. However, another study found that this kind of the psychological outcomes that the young adult face due to the challenges to achieve what they plan to achieve their goal can be reduced in relation to the level of the emotional intelligence that they have. Studies have indicated that, okay, if the young adults have the high emotional intelligence, they are less likely suffering from the psychological distress and the psychological disorder. They are more likely to benefit the good mental health in their life. So in relation to that, the present study would like to investigate the research question, which is, does emotional intelligence and the psychological well-being are correlated even during pandemic COVID-19? Because during the time before the COVID-19 pandemic, emotional intelligence was found to have the very good influence on the psychological well-being. The research objective of the present study is to investigate what is the relationship between emotional intelligence and psychological well-being during the COVID-19 among young adults. So the hypothesis of the study is to find out, okay, that emotional intelligence is assumed to correlate with the psychological well-being. So there are two measures that we use to test the hypothesis. The first one is the emotional intelligence, and second is the measure for the psychological well-being. All right, the method of the study are as below, in which the research design is the cross-sectional design, cross-sectional survey design, and then it is based on the convenient sampling. Participant of the study is 199, in which 89 are female, 89 are males, and 110 are females. They coming from different states in Malaysia, and they have a different level of education. The measures that were used are GHQ-12 and USMEC-I. The procedure that the participant being recruited in this study is they are invited through the social media, in which they are provided with the link to answer the Google survey form. The result of the study indicate that emotional intelligence significantly correlated with the measure of the psychological well-being, in which specifically it found that the emotional intelligence negatively correlated with the psychological distress, which is the measure of the psychological well-being. The result indicate that the higher the level of emotional intelligence associated with the lower of the psychological distress. Thus, this promotes the psychological well-being. All right, the implication of the study are as below, in which, okay, there are the implication to the development of the new educational intervention model, and then the development of the new modules that give the young adults skill to regulate their emotion, then expand the modules, the new modules to the late adolescent teenagers, as well as the university student, and the last one to promote the new developed intervention program to the policy maker as a good empirical intervention model. As a conclusion, okay, It is found that the good mental health and psychological well-being are very important for mankind to play the duty as the servant of Allah on this earth. Okay, so they are very important for them to regulate the emotion since the beginning, since the early childhood, so that it can benefit at the later age during the young adulthood period. So therefore, this study emphasized on the relationship between the emotional intelligence and also the psychological well-being. With this, I thank everyone for listening to the presentation. That's end for now. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ya, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, everyone. Before we begin, let me introduce myself and my partner. My name is Wina, and my colleague is Didi Widiantoro. We are from Department Psychology, Islamic University of Riau. So, actually, several weeks ago, we had a conversation with one of our colleagues by phone, and she told us that she had a problem on her job. So during this pandemic, so she needed coaching from her manager actually, and but unfortunately she got nothing from the coaching process. So from this view of point, we were so curious about this trend issue. So here we are came up with our paper, our research paper titled "Implementation Overview of Coaching Skills by Managers to Develop Employees' Hard and Soft Skill in Pandemic Era." So when we continue to the next slide, so here in the abstract of our research paper, we can see here that the objective of this study was aimed to get an overview of the relationship between the coaching itself, the motivation, and the performance of employee in the company during this pandemic era. Yeah, when we move to the introduction paper here, introduction part here, following the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemics, actually it had impact to all of the sector all over the world. So yeah, in Indonesia itself, the work from home has now become a working culture in the company, in every company. So work from home has been shown to guide major change in organizational culture and work productivity in Indonesia, but it won't last until employees shows the well-being issues, for instance, like stress in working, insomnia, anger, and etc. Yeah. Therefore, employee need more approach from the leader itself through the coaching process. Like here, we can see that the coaching process, the coaching is a creative process that inspires employees to reach their maximum potential. So we need them to reach the maximum potential of their career. But the question will come like how manager use their coaching skills to coach the employees to improve the employees' performance. That's the big question right now. Like here, from the literature review, we have a theory that building a successful coaching culture requires three things. The first one is a coaching strategy, of course. The second one, it comes alignment with the organizational culture change and coaching infrastructure. Yeah, for the methodology here, we use descriptive research. So it is to describe a phenomenon and its characteristic, and we use interview for that, for collection the data, and we have we had three respondents, three managers in three different leading company in Indonesia, and we do the analysis also. Okay, we move to the coaching process here on the screen. You can see the coaching process. There are 4 steps of coaching process. The first one is planning. So actually here in the step 1, the first step here, the planning, the question would be like, what does the coaching process look like? So both the coaching, I mean the coach and the coachee itself have to plan the process and discuss each perspective. So they come with one perspective, one mission, one vision, and sorry, until we move to the second step. So the second step will be the contracting. So the contracting here, the question would be like, what does the contract, I mean, what does the coaching contract cover? What does the inside of the contracting? So the coach and the coachee itself make a commitment at the beginning. So what does the coaching process look like? And then they can move into the third step. It's a coaching itself. So in the coaching process here, the question would be like, how do coaching conversation works, and how do I build the momentum to change? It can be like something. How can I change the problem how do I solve the problem? I mean, and the last one is evaluating. So the question would be like, how do we evaluate the effectiveness of the coaching process, and how do we reflect on the coaching relationship? So there are there are 4 coaching process here that really need to be followed by either the coach or the coachee itself. Yeah. Next, here there is another question: do the manager have the right coaching skills? Do they have the right coaching skills? That's really big question in our research here. So um, the answer would be like, yeah, some of them, yeah, they do have the coaching skills, but some of the managers, they don't even know what the coaching skills is. And from the data results here, we interviewed 3 managers, and from the 3 of them, you can see like there are cross and the checklist sign here, and most of them have a coaching program. Most of them don't have don't have a manager as a coach, and most of them don't have a training for manager for coaching skills, and most of them also don't have a standardization coaching method. So this is really important to notice. And we found, yeah, from the data result of our respondents, and we found that there are some problems in between the coaching process and employee motivation and performance itself. So we found that technology, the first one is technology here. Not all of the manager are and employees, yeah, are familiar with technology. Some are not familiar, especially for the older people. And the second one will be like online communication skills. This is really important now, because both online and offline communication skills are really needed. So manager cannot focus only the hard skill, but the soft skills seems needed in current condition, especially in the pandemic era. So everyone use the Zoom meeting, everyone use the web seminar, and so on. And the third one is, we found that the personal coaching here, personal coaching is really important. We found that all respondents providing mostly webinar, online training from the outside coach. So, but here we need one-on-one coaching with our own manager, with our own leader actually. So to not only build the good relationship, but also to maximize the potential of the employee itself. Yeah, then and the limitation of intervention. So the manager seems to concern on how to find the root of the problem, but they forget about the how to intervention and how to solve the problem itself. So they only focus on what is the problem, what are the problems, and who face the problem, only that. And
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Noor Abdul Jalil. I'm the Deputy Dean, Student Development and Community Engagement, Kuliah of Islamic Living Knowledge and Human Sciences, International Islamic University, Malaysia. I'm going to share with you my papers entitled Extending Support Services to Students and Community during COVID-19 pandemic, the role of university. Allow me to share my slide with all of you. Basically, this paper is about the initiative taken by our kuliah at the beginning of the movement control order imposed by the government of Malaysia beginning from 18 March 2020 until 15 May 2020. That was during the second wave of pandemic COVID-19 in the country, which caused difficulties and to our students and also our community. So the focus of this paper is going to look at what are the difficulties faced by our community, mainly our students, staff, and also other community in the kuliah, and what are the initiatives taken by the kuliah management led by my office to deal with the issues. A brief introduction about the kuliah. In this kuliah, we have 5,718 students, comprises of undergraduate and postgraduate students, local and international. We have 218 academic staff, 47 administrative and technical staff, as well as 17 janitors. Talking about the role of the university, we are guided by our university community engagement framework, which define the roles of university into three different roles: intellectual roles, social role, and educational roles. And these are the community of, we define the community into four different groups of community. Number one, the learning community, who are our students. We have the learned community, scholars. We have the professional communities, the industries, people who are at the industry captains, and also the general community, the public at large. So in this presentation, our focus on our support services are mainly addressed to students, academic staff, administrative staff, as well as the janitors who are the most affected by the pandemic COVID-19. This is the scenario which I have mentioned earlier. the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia between 27 February 2020 until 3rd of May 2020, which resulted the government of Malaysia to implement a nationwide movement control order on the 18th of March. Obviously, it was restricted or restricting the life of everyone. Universities were ordered to close. Some students were at the hostels, and some of them went back. And all other facilities are shut down except the essential services. This MCO, Movement Control Order, was relaxed later on when the condition was getting better on the 4th of May 2020. The data for our initiative are taken from two sources. Number one, from survey led by our students' clubs, known as IRKHSSSS, Student Welfare Assistant Online Survey, which was conducted on 26th of March 2020. 154 responded have shared with us their difficulties in the survey, and also we are getting data from reports from IIUM Mental Health and Psychosocial Team, Impact Team, which is another initiative as a result of this psychosocial issue during COVID-19 pandemic. Among the consequences which we have gathered from the survey, the MCO, the Movement Control Order, had caused psychosocial issues among our students. Among the problems reported to us are divided into two. Number one, the financial issue, source of income affected. Parents or guardians or students had to face a pay cut, laid off from work, daily wages, unable to go to work due to the restriction of movement. For students, our students who used to work on a part-time basis in campus, when the university are closed, so they don't have any source of income. And another set of problem is the psychosocial issues, such as social isolation, fears and rumination, and emotional triggers that are gathered by the team. So as a result of the data that we have gathered, the Kuliah under the leadership of our office have initiated several initiatives in order to ease the difficulties faced by our community in the Kuliah. Among the initiatives taken, there are four main initiatives. Number one, the formation of psychosocial support group. Number two, donation drive. Number three, a online get-together session. And number four, we also have webinars to connect people, not only in our campus, but also all over the world. So we will go into each initiative. Number one, the psychosocial support. It was meant to reaching out to our staff and students via different modes of communication, emails, audio calls, WhatsApp, Telegram, as well as Google Meet. It was recorded that 289 sessions were conducted with 37 clients, 35 students, 2 staff. And this project, which was initially started as a Kuliah project at our faculty, has now been rebranded as IIUM Mental Health and Psychosocial Team, or it is known as Impact. And this has become the university initiative to deal with the psychosocial issues in campus. Then we have the COVID-19 financial assistance fund, This is to assist the community, students, staff, and academics, and surrounding community. Within the short period of time when we launched the donation drive, we managed to collect 7,800 ringgit, equivalent to USD 1,921.18 cent, and 7,200 ringgit has been successfully disbursed to 55 needy students and also to our janitors. All 17 of them receive the financial assistance before Shawwal uh, um, celebration, before Hari Raya. Then we have, because our students, those who are at the we call it mahalla or hostel,